Hello everybody, this is Dr. Cari Schaefer and I am excited to be back here to continue our hormone series. Today we're going to talk about the fertility years, those years between the onset of menses and menopause. And they're, the bulk of many women's lives. We spend more time during these years than others. And they're as many women know, they're a really magnificent time of life. From a hormonal perspective, there can be some challenges, and they also can be a time of life where we have what I call superpowers, and we'll talk a little bit about that as we go along. But I want to remind you a little bit about what the hormones are doing, because this series has been, going on for a while, and we talked about that in video 1, and that was, excuse me, a few months ago. So we want to go ahead and revisit that. So remember, at the beginning of your cycle is day 1 of your menses. Your estrogen and your progesterone levels, the two main hormones that we talk about when we talk about a woman's cycle, they're low. And as the cycle progresses, the estrogen decreases, and then about mid-cycle, the estrogen shoots up, and that stimulates the release of the egg. And when the egg is released, something called a corpus luteum is created. And the corpus luteum is what produces progesterone. So after that egg's released, progesterone starts to get produced, estrogen starts to drop, progesterone goes high, and then if there's implantation, the body gets ready for pregnancy. But if not, then the progesterone levels start to decline and the body gets ready for a menses. And the regulation of those hormones, when they're all going good, we should be pretty symptom-free. However, for many of us, that's not our experience. We get PMS, we get swelling and tenderness, we might get water bloat, headaches, things like that. All of those are signs that the body is in a state of imbalance. And the most common imbalance is something we call estrogen dominance. And estrogen dominance is when you have too much estrogen in relationship to progesterone. Now, that doesn't mean you've got the perfect amount of progesterone and you have, more estrogen than you need. That can be the case. Sometimes it actually means that your progesterone is too low. So you have to get that sorted out. Now, the answer isn't, particularly during this time, it isn't to, use hormones to balance yourself out. Or what is often offered to women is the pill, which all the pill does is override your system and stop your natural cycle, which is something that I really don't recommend. I recommend a woman's health. In Chinese medicine, it said if you want to improve a woman's health, balance her hormones. So having our hormone falsely regulated, I don't believe is the best thing to create vibrant health in our bodies. So how do we create vibrant health? Now, during this time, with the hormones fluctuating up and down, what becomes really important is our liver's ability to cycle out the hormones. And so if your liver is gunked up, it's getting exposed to a lot of chemicals from the food you're eating. It's getting exposed to chemicals from the cleaning products you use. It's getting exposed to chemicals from the hair care and skin care. The last time I looked, I haven't looked recently, but the average woman was leaving the house after rubbing 95 chemicals on her body. That's crazy. Those, remember, we talked about it in the xenoestrogen video. So if you didn't see that, you want to go back and visit that. Those xenoestrogens create that false estrogen dominance in our system and throw our hormones off. So the first thing that you want to do is really clean up your environment, clean up your diet. You can read my book, The Food Solution, Skip the Chemically Altered Products, or crap, and thrive. That book is all about how to get the chemicals out of your food, get them out of your cleaning products, get them out of your skin care, get them out of your hair care. And in the xenoestrogen video, we talk about Skin Deep and Think Dirty. Think Dirty is an app. Skin Deep is a website where you can look and find out how your products rate and where you might find cleaner products to use. So that's one major thing. The other major thing is stress, because stress causes our tension in our body, and when things tense, things don't flow as well, our liver gets gunked up, and when our liver gets gunked up, it doesn't do its job as well of detoxifying, right? The liver does over 500 functions. One of the things that really stresses the liver out is blood sugar. When we are going into lows and highs, when we are erratically eating, that really affects the liver's ability to do its job, because every time your blood sugar is low, adrenals produce a hormone that cause the liver to then break down blood sugar stores, because it's an emergency situation to the body, to get your blood sugar level back up. Not enough blood sugar, brain cells start to die. Not something we want, okay? Then we go into a high. Now the liver's got to filter out that, extra blood sugar. It's got to store blood sugar in your tissue. It gets very busy. So one of the main things that you can do for yourself during this time is make sure that you're eating on regular intervals. This is where I don't love intermittent fasting, and I'm going to do a series coming up about the different diets, what I like about them, what I don't. Intermittent fasting is the big fad diet right now, and if you want to do intermittent fasting, then I suggest that you do a 10-14. You don't eat for 14 hours, but you eat for 10, and you don't wait more than 14 hours between breakfast and dinner. Why? Because that affects your adrenals, which then ultimately affect your liver, right? So keeping your blood sugar regulated will go really far into helping your liver stay healthy and helping it do its job of cycling out those hormones. Now, something that you need to know is that when your hormone cycle is off, because the level of estrogen affects the level of progesterone, which then affects the level of estrogen, it can take a couple of months to get back on schedule. Now, something that I love is something called seed cycling. And you might be able to find it on the internet. And if you can't, you're welcome to send a text to the office, 310-319-1122, and ask for with your email address, and we will go ahead and send you a little handout on how to do seed cycling. Seed cycling is eating certain healthy fats at certain times in your cycle to promote the cycle, and I have seen that do miracles for women. So look at seed cycling, look at regulating your blood sugar intake. I mentioned that a bit in the book. And then also you want to look at keeping your stress level down. Now, this is where those superpowers come into play, because estradiol gives women these abilities. And this is a generalization, right? But it gives women the ability to multitask. Why would it do that? Because a woman, her job during these years is to, give birth and then raise children, right? That's sort of the anthropological reason for a woman during these years. And it's not the only reason, but that's what, from an anthropological perspective, our bodies are set up for. So estradiol helps us be good at doing multiple things so that we can be, hunting and gathering, not hunting, but gathering food, preparing food, and then knowing where our children are and keeping them safe, right? You all know this. You're able to do a lot of different things. The problem with that, what I call superpower, is that if it's not in balance, it can lead to us living from a stressed state where we're pushing ourselves too far. So even though it makes us good at multitasking, we need to learn to balance our superpowers. It's like one of those movies where, the person has just gotten their superpowers and they're trying to use it, and they're like bumping into buildings and they're blowing the wrong thing up and they're doing all this stuff that's not meant to be. It's a little bit like that with these superpowers that we have during this time. Another superpower that we have during this time is the ability to focus on others, right? Because our job is to keep others well. And again, we can do that to our own detriment. So it's really important that we learn to take care of ourselves while we are taking care of others. Because if we burn out, everybody goes down. You guys know this, particularly my working busy moms, right? And so that can create a situation where we are overstretching ourselves. So super important that we learn to add self-care into that care picture. So I hope this information helps you. If you get stuck, you need any support, I'm here. I work, one-on-one in my office. I work virtually via Zoom. No, you're not alone. It is totally possible for you to be living the life of your dreams and be taking care of yourself in that scenario, as well as taking care of all the others. If you have any questions, go to the Facebook page, Dr. Cari for Health, and you can put them there under this video. Happy to answer any questions you have, and I hope you guys are all so well. We're heading into our menopause and perimenopause, which is one of my favorite subjects because our superpowers change during this time, and that's so disorienting for women, and it's really beautiful as well. So stay tuned for that, and look forward to dropping in with you guys again soon.